Hiya! Welcome to LSB Feasters Radio Channel, where we keep great radio from the past alive. Today we're going to Dallas, Texas, and a legendary air personality, the one and only Kidd Kraddick. Kidd was the creator of the Kidd Kraddick Morning Show, which ran for years and years. It was one of the most listened to CHR morning shows in America, and his numerous accolades include America's Best Radio Personality, Radio and Records Major Market Personality of the Year, and the Distinguished Marconi Award for Radio Personality of the Year. Before making it to Dallas, Kidd spent time on the air in Miami, in Salt Lake City, in Los Angeles, and in Tampa before taking his show to Dallas, where his popularity took off. In 2001, his show went national. Kidd Kraddick in the Morning rose to the top of the ratings in almost every market they were in. Sadly, he passed away in July 2013 while at an event to raise money for his beloved charity, Kidd's Kids. The show continued on with Kidd's partners, just continuing his morning tradition. This Aircheck actually comes from the day after Kidd's passing. It was an emotional show, and I can't imagine how hard it had to be to do. So let's check it out. It's the Kidd Kraddick Morning Show on Kiss 106.1 Dallas.
Remembering the good, remembering the joy that this man brought to so many people, the happiness, the celebration of a life well lived today on 106.1 Kiss FM, and you've no doubt got your moments of joy that were brought about by one Kidd Kraddick, a man who lives on, a man who is with the angels, but who is nonetheless still very much alive and with us today through the good he brought to so many. 214 or 817-787-1061. Let's remember the joy. Let's remember the good today. Let's remember the hope that he brought to so many, the smiles he brought to faces of children who didn't ask for and didn't deserve some of what obstacles life presented to them. Yet, nonetheless, this man found a way to make those little hearts smile, even if for a moment. And no doubt you've got stories. We would love to hear them. 214 or 817-787-1061. You've got some, right?
I've been listening to him since I was literally in middle school. And I remember the mornings where he would call Caroline and he would tell her to have a good day and that Daddy loved her. And I know that this morning show has just impacted this community just here in DFW, and just how many people love you guys and how many people loved him, and he's just truly going to be missed. And I wanted you guys to know to hang in there. You're doing a beautiful tribute this morning, and we love you guys, and that's all I wanted to say.
Hey, what up? This is your man, Flo Rida. Remember my brother, Kidd Kraddick. Keep looking up, because that's where it all is.
Love Somebody by Maroon 5. I think love is one of the things that I remember most about this man, Kidd Kraddick. It's 106.1 Kiss FM, celebrating a man's life today who, through loving others, really showed us how we can not just love ourselves, but how we can fall even more in love with our community. You know, what this man did for children across the country with Kidd's Kids is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the magnitude of the man that Kidd Kraddick is, and what a legacy he leaves behind. You've got some stories about Kidd at 214 or 817-787-1061 today that you would love to share with all of us, and we collectively, as a family, would love to hear them, and you've got something to tell. Go ahead.
My best memory was I was 16, and I was at work, and I was heartbroken because I didn't get what I wanted for my birthday. I didn't get anything for my 16th birthday. And, you always think your 16th birthday, it's just a big blowout, and they're going to do over the top. They didn't do anything for me. And he heard me talking to my boss about it. He came over to me, and he gave me tickets, front row to NXS the next day. And that just made my day. He is a great man. He was a great man. And I just hope you guys keep up the Kids Kiss, and everything else that he's ever done.
I think that's one of the things about Kidd Kraddick that made him so amazing. It's 106.1 Kiss FM. It's that although he was broadcasting around the country and around the globe, not just here in the Metroplex, he was talking to so many people, yet you felt like he was talking to you. Like he was in the seat next to you in the car. Like he was in the cubicle next to you at the office. Like he was a friend who stopped by to have some coffee after the kids got off to school. It felt like you were one person when you listened to Kidd. 214 or 817-787-1061. And in those chats, he brought so many different things. Humor, fun, life, smiles. And he also gave you the opportunity to help touch other lives. And everybody has a Kidd Kraddick story. And you've got one, too. Go ahead.
My family and I were on the Kids Kiss trip this past year in November. My son, he was 5 at the time, he's 6 now, was chosen to be one of Kids Kiss last year. And I was driving in this morning and thinking about the trip and listening and just crying along with everybody on the radio. But I was remembering my son, and every day of that trip, from the time we got on the plane and took off till the very last day, he had a smile on his face that was so big that his little face could hardly contain it, and he had this wonder in his eyes, and he would tell me every day, "Mama, this is the best day ever." And he would tell me that every day something new and exciting on this trip, and he was just filled with so much joy. And I know today that Kidd is in heaven, and he's got a smile on his face bigger than his face can contain, and his eyes are filled with wonder, and he's saying, looking around and rejoicing, and he's saying, this is the best day ever. And he's going to be living that for eternity now. And he blessed so many people that I believe that he's being, he's got more joy now that he can, that we can even imagine, because he did so much good in this world. And we just love him, and we love the family there, and we're so grateful that we were able to be a part of his life in any way.
This is 106.1 Kiss FM, KHKS, Denton, Dallas, Fort Worth, and always the home of Kidd Kraddick in the morning.
It's Jason Derulo, remembering Kidd Kraddick. Keep looking up, because that's where it all is. In the beginning,
I remember a song once I used to listen to as a kid growing up in Katy, Texas. It was a contemporary Christian song, 106.1 Kiss FM. I'm Toby Knapp. And I forget who it was by, and I forget all of the song, but the one part that I remember was, "All we have to offer is the legacy we leave behind." And today we celebrate that legacy and the joy that this man, Kidd Kraddick, brought to so many people. For us, he was a teammate and a leader and our morning guy here at KISS. But to you, he was a friend. To you, he was a neighbor. To you, he was someone who helped kids find joy in the face of insurmountable odds. Yet he was also a father, a family man, a teammate, a confidant, a trusted, close inner circle member to so many different people. The moments that Kidd Kraddick brought to you that helped to shape your life, that really touched you, that spoke to you, that's what we're sharing today with one another at 214 or 817-787-1061. My name's Toby Knapp, but KISS FM is really all about you and all about the joy and the life that we celebrate when we think about who Kidd Kraddick is today. And I say is because he is. He lives on in the lives he touched, in the people he touched, in the hope that he brought, in the joy he brought this city. Kidd Kraddick's body may be now what it is, but he, to paraphrase something someone else said about a great human being, he now belongs to the ages, but he is. And you've got stories to share. 214 or 817-787-1061. Go ahead. Tell me your moment with Kidd Kraddick in the morning.
Brought me and my kids so many happy tears and happy laughs that he will forever be loved in our hearts.
Running with wolves and I'm on the prowl.
It's 106.1 Kiss FM and Toby Knapp. Memories. Things that make us smile. 214 or 817-787-1061. We're celebrating the life of Kidd Kraddick right now on Kiss.
Back in 1996, I called one morning, and they answered, and they said, what's going on? I said, I have a very sad little boy in the car, and they said, why? I said, because his class is supposed to go to the zoo today, and it's raining, so they can't go. And they said, well, where are they from? I said, it's the North Haven school. It's the 4-year-old class. And he thought I said the 4th grade class. He said, bring him up to the station. I said, are you sure? He goes, yeah. So we got to school, and we loaded him up in the preschool van, and we took him up there, and we walked through the door, and the look on his face was like, wait a minute. This is a bunch of tiny 4-year-old children. He was expecting 4th graders. And they still let them all in, and of course they climbed all over him and Kelly and Big Al and everybody. And they had the best day, and we have all kinds of pictures, and we reported it, the show and stuff. But it was just so funny because he thought I said 4th graders, and he got this huge class of 4-year-olds that wanted to go to the zoo that day, but it had rained, and it was just so funny and so sweet.
Yeah.
And my son, he's 21 now. He was 4 years old then, and he's remembered to this day. He's got, a T-shirt that everybody signed for him and all the pictures from being up there and sitting in his lap and everything. And, that's how long we've been listening and, been part of the family.
It's amazing, isn't it, that everybody you run into has a Kidd Kraddick story.
Oh, yeah. I don't know anybody. Actually, I just now came from the dentist. And one person said his name, and the whole lobby just went nuts with stories.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody behind the desk, the dentist came out and talked about it. Everybody in every chair had a Kidd Kraddick story. I mean, we all just stood there for probably 45 minutes and made the dentist get behind on what they were doing. I mean, you just say that name right now, and everybody just turns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. But, no, it was really sweet that day, but I won't ever forget the look on his face because he really was expecting much taller children.
In my mind's eye, I can actually see that moment, and I wasn't there. But, isn't that the amazing thing? These memories are, why he is who he is. And I say is in present tense because while things may have happened, the fact that we have these memories, the fact that we have these stories, the fact that so many lives were touched is why he is who he is and why he will continue to be in the hearts of so many people, not just here, but literally around the world.
Yeah, and the thing to me is he always remembers. I don't know how he had that memory because a year later, actually, both my boys had won some kind of a thing, and they went up as Christmas toy testers. And the minute my younger one walked in, he goes, wait, I remember you. Because mine at 4 was very active. He was a regular dentist in Venice, and he had been all over the studio. And he's like, I don't know if we will let him in near his toys. They might not survive. And I was just shocked that almost a year and a half later, he remembered him from coming in that one day.
Amazing.
It was just amazing. So, but he's good people.
And still is, and his memories will continue to be. Now, what is your name?
My name is Tina Communis.
Well, Tina, thank you for calling. Where are you at right now?
I'm actually driving home from the dentist. I'm in Carrollton, so.
Well, I'm glad to hear your teeth are clean. I'm sure Kidd is smiling at the fact that they're clean and that everything was good and there's no cavities.
Oh, yeah. So, and that's why I'm glad you understand me. My mouth is numb, as you can probably tell.
A lifetime of memories, so many amazing stories. It's 106.1 Kiss FM and Toby Knapp. Perhaps you have one on your heart right now that you want to share. 214 or 817-787-1061.
Y'all lost one of the best in my opinion, in the whole country. I remember when my children, I have 3 children, and they were small, and they're all grown now, and they have children of their own.
Yeah.
And I remember when they were in school, and they listened to y'all. And my wife listened to y'all, and I didn't like y'all. I didn't like y'all station. I'm country. I love country music, but I didn't like y'all. I just didn't like the station. But my kids and my wife kept after me, and I started listening to y'all. I started listening to Kidd Kraddick in the morning, and I said, oh, what the heck? Y'all were having a a contest where you could win $1,000 if you were the 106 caller. And I said, man, that's a bunch of, I just didn't believe in it. And I decided just to call randomly. I just called and I won. And I was totally shocked. So I got to come up to the station and meet them. And it was totally, and so after that, I went to several second chance proms and got to see them at that. Me and my wife went like 3 years in a row, and we had a blast. We had a great time. And I'm over 50 years old now. And when I was 37, I had so much going on in my life, personal life as work. I was a workaholic. I worked 3 jobs, and I had a lot of things going on in my life at that time. And God just, out of nowhere, I had a stroke, and I had an aneurysm on top of the stroke. And I'm here today to tell about my story. And two things that have brought me to light was what my grandfather would tell me as a kid growing up: the truth shall set you free. And when I started listening to Kiss FM, I always listened to Kidd Kraddick say this last thing before he went off the air: keep looking up, because that's where it all is. And it is the truth. There's people that out there that don't believe it, and someday they're going to have to believe it. It's hard to say that he's gone, and I hate to see that he's gone. I hope the station keeps doing the Kids thing, because it's the best special thing he could have ever brought to this city of Dallas and Fort Worth, as well as to the rest of the country. And bless Kelly and Big Al and all the other people that had to be close to him, a lot closer than I could ever be, and a lot closer than anybody in our city. But we're all family with y'all, and we hope that they can get through this the best they can, and they're in our prayers. And we'll continue to listen to y'all, and just hope that everybody can get through it the best they can. And I think the way y'all are trying to handle it at this time on the station is the best way you can do it.
This is 106.1 Kiss FM, KHKS, Denton, Dallas, Fort Worth, and always the home of Kidd Kraddick in the morning.
Memories, stories, things, encounters. Kidd Kraddick touched so many lives. 214 or 817-787-1061 to share your memories and stories as we celebrate the life of a man who really meant so much to so many. Everybody has a Kidd Kraddick in the morning story.
I had the pleasure and honor to actually meet Kidd Kraddick a couple months ago, maybe about a year ago, over at Topgolf in Allen. And I was helping out the HRs promoting the new Topgolf in Allen, and they had a lot of PGA Tour guys, and I believe Tony Romo was there as well. Towards the end, beginning of the day, it was a pretty rough day. I was there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was told I couldn't be there for the event that evening after setting everything up. Then I got the news I could help out the corporate HR promoting a raffle for helping trying to make a shoe target towards the end. Well, after all that, I had he asked me if we're doing a good job. So, do you want to meet one of the PGA guys or Tony Romo? I was like, no, I don't want to meet Tony Romo or any of the other guys. I want to meet Kidd Kraddick, since I've been listening to him for over 10 years now, and that was really an honor to get to meet him. So I got the time to meet him for about briefly 5 minutes, got to take a picture with him, told him I'm a long-time listener, been so proud and happy to be a part of listening to you and the Kidd Kraddick crew, and just so proud of what he does for the kids, and just being an overall funny, great guy. It had butterflies in my stomach, but I was extremely happy. It was a bless to finally to get to meet this guy. I've been here over the radio for over 10 years, and it was just, I'm sorry for the big loss. It's a heartache for everyone from your guys' side and the listeners all around, and I just want to make that little memory shine, because it was really a touching moment for me that day.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars?
We're at 214 or 817-787-1061. It's Toby Knapp at Kiss. Like you, thinking of things and remembering times, stories, encounters with Kidd. And even if you didn't meet him, you kind of always felt like you did, you know? Your stories. 214 or 817-787-1061.
I remember my mom, taking us to school in the morning and feeling that was the safest and bestest radio station to listen to. Yeah. And it was, I loved it every day. And then I remember my 16-year-old, being 5 years old and taking him to school and feeling the same way,
That's what Kidd did, Kidd just made it okay for everyone. You always knew. You always knew. Right. And there were times when he might get a little bit this way or that way, but it was always okay because it's almost like he knew, It's like he knew exactly what you were doing or who might be in the car with you at a certain time and what little ears might perk up at certain words or phrases. And then he also kind of knew those phrases that he could use that wouldn't, raise an eyebrow, as it were. That was just part of the class that the man had,
Yeah, you're so right. He was a part. He made all of us, become one because we could relate to him, and he brought everyone together. And to find that in this day and age is a true gem. It's very, very rare.
Everybody get up.
She keeps me warm.
So many memories. It's 106.1 KISS FM. 214 or 817-787-1061.
I'm 19. I've been listening to this station since I was 8, 9 years old. 17 years old, I joined the Marine Corps. Yeah. When I was 18, I got shipped off, did 8 months over in Iraq. Came back home. First station I heard when I got in the car, 106.1, Kidd Kraddick's voice. I knew I was home. I knew I was back in Texas, but I'm out now. I got medically discharged, but it's just not the same. I drive every morning to work. Now I can't hear him talk anymore. Got to meet him once. Got to play cards with him at his apartment with my brother-in-law. The nicest guy in the world.
Give me your attention, baby.
It's 106.1 KISS FM. Hi. My parents named me Toby, and my job today here at KISS FM is to celebrate a man who meant so much to so many, who touched so many lives, and who will continue to touch lives, even though right now he may be, I don't know what the right word would be, phrase would be in a different form. All I know is that the man Kidd Kraddick and the spirit of Kidd Kraddick lives on. And you've got stories on how he touched your lives. And that's what we're all about today. That's what he'd want, to hear these stories. For us to together share these stories. 214 or 817-787-1061.
I am 22 years old, and I just recently got out of the military. And I've been listening to him for a while. And when I got shipped off and spent 3.5 years away from Texas, I didn't have my KISS FM. And I just got home, and the first thing I heard the morning that I woke up in Texas was Kidd Kraddick's voice, and it's just like the sensation of being home, being with my family, not having to worry about anything just hit me really hard, and I cried. I'm like, I'm home. I'm not going anywhere anymore. And he was an amazing man, and he inspired me even just through the radio station, and just knowing that I got to listen to him every day and just got that smile on my face every morning. And on my way to school this morning, it was so hard. I was in tears, and I was just like, I cannot believe he's not here anymore. And I'm very thankful that I got to listen to him since I was 10, 11 years old. I'm very, very thankful to have had him in my life just through the radio, because he was such a inspiration through his kids and everything. And I'm praying for y'all, and I'm just hoping that everybody can get through the next couple of weeks of the tough times. And I'm so sorry for y'all's loss.
Baby, you a song and you make me wanna roll my window. You are now rocking with Will I Am in Britney, bitch.
Hey, my name is Amy Sue, and I was actually just calling in just to kind of just... I just felt horrible for you guys, and I've had I don't know, I just been driving around all day. I'm in medical sales and just crying and just kind of thinking. I met Kidd, actually, I won a trip to the Bahamas in 2007, and I've spent, like over a week with the guys and girls in the morning. It was just, I don't know, this is really hard. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I'm praying for you guys and just wanted to send some love.
Thinking about the Bahamas trip, wow, there must have been some amazing stories there. Is there anything that you think about from that trip that still makes you laugh?
Well, there was a couple things. I actually met Larry Burkhead, and I was competing against a girl on the show, and we were on the morning show every morning with Kidd and Kelly and Al and JC, and there was a huge concert, but definitely, we shared some laughs, and he actually invited us, to go up and have a private little show with Natasha Bedingfield. And I remember I was very nervous because I was all alone. I didn't get to bring a guest or anything because I was competing against this other girl in the Bahamas, and he was just so welcoming and just brought us in, not as a listener, but just as, just one of the guys or girls, just hung out with us. And he, was constantly just telling me I was nervous about winning because I was competing against that girl for money, and he just kept pulling me aside, and he was like, "You got this," we did have a great time. We had a great time gambling. I knew his love of craps because we played in the casino at the Atlantis and just hung out. But just such what a measure of a man. Honestly, I'm so glad I got to meet him and spend even a little bit of time with him. But grew up listening to him, and I just wanted to call in and just tell you guys that I'm praying for you all. And I'm just blessed that I actually met him and met the voice that, I just always heard every day. So anyway, I know it's tough because, I can only imagine, what you guys are going through. It's, just really tough. But anyway, I just wanted to share my prayers and thoughts with you and love with you guys. So.
Is that your grandma's coat?
My name's Taylor.
Hey, Taylor. Thanks for hanging on. It's Toby Knapp here at KISS. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I just wanted to call in and say a few words for myself personally. I never personally got to meet Kidd, but I definitely knew him because I would drive to work every single morning and stuck in traffic, and the first thing I would do was turn on the radio. And I just think it's so powerful how he would meet you exactly where you were at, no matter what you were feeling, what kind of mood you were in. And I've also been thinking the last hours here, just how powerful a legacy is, and that's the kind of legacy that I want to have, is the same that Kidd has had. All these people calling in, it's incredible. He's left an excellent legacy. I know Dallas is hurting right now. The whole city of Dallas, they've lost a huge person. So I just wanted to speak a little bit, just kind of on a personal level. It's just, he really inspired me to live a better legacy. That's kind of what I wanted to say today. So I thank you very much for letting me speak.
Can I share something with you personally? It's Toby Knapp, 106.1 KISS FM. Here at the station, sometimes we get the chance to give away really cool things, and you see, all the lines start just going crazy right as it's close to time for us to give away something like, say, One Direction tickets or a trip somewhere or cash. I have to tell you, seeing the way from this side, if I pull the veil back and I tell you what I see this console of buttons and levers and then this little phone thing, and every line has been lit solid since I stepped in here at 10 o'clock this morning. And it really speaks It really speaks to who Kidd Kraddick is, you know? You can't make this stuff up in life. They say all we have to offer is the legacy we leave behind, and this man has touched so many. 214 or 817-787-1061 to share your stories today here at Kiss FM, and you've got one, Amy. Go ahead.
I do. I just wanted to share that I met Kidd Kraddick about 20 years ago. I was working at Parkland on the burn unit, and we did a camp every year for the kiddos who had burn injuries at Camp John Mark, and he was there, and it just touched me, and I've always remembered how much he cared about the children and how good he was with the children. You know, a lot of times when you see celebrities doing things like that, you wonder if it's just a publicity stunt or something like that. For him, it wasn't. It was all about the children. And I was there as a counselor. I'm a nurse, and so my job was to help with dressing changes and whatnot for the children in my cabin. And it was such a huge thing for the children, for him to be there and to participate. I remember he was getting down to Weenie Man was the song that we sang with the kiddos at camp. And he was getting down to Weenie Man. And I'll never, ever, ever, ever in my life forget that. And he touched me unbelievably when he was there. It was Camp Itonkachi was the name of it. And like I said, it was over 20 years ago. And even though it was so long ago, I've never, ever forgotten how amazing he was. More people should be like that.
He would have wanted it this way. Us having a conversation, healing together. 214 or 817-787-1061, maybe trying to figure out why. You know, so many times this happens, you ask questions, and you ask why. And sometimes maybe you don't like the answer. But I think that Kidd would remind us all today that all things are working together for the good. 214 or 817-787-1061 if you have something that you feel you want to share with the class, so to speak, today here on KISS.
I just wanted to say that I've been listening to him since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 32 now, and he always made you feel like he was in the car with you, or a friend that you lent a shoulder to you. Mm-hmm. Every time he would talk about something that was going on in his life, it was the same going on in mine. So I always felt like a friend was sitting next to you that you were talking to. And sometimes I wanted to say, you know, kid, get out of my brain. Where are you coming from? But he was an amazing man, always will be. His legacy lives on and will continue to live on in the heart of his daughter and all of his fans and friends in the DFW Metroplex. He's going to be greatly missed.
And you wanted to bring something up that you don't think we've mentioned when we remember the life of Kidd Kraddick. Go ahead.
Yes, I remember the book that he wrote, probably 18 years ago, called Rude Awakenings. And every morning he would read a chapter on the air. And I used to go into work late just so that I could hear the next day's chapter because it was so amazing.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it all, somebody called and offered to publish the book, and it was sold at Barnes & Noble's, and all the profits went to Kids. But I still have that book. It's what I use when I fly, when I'm scared, or just sad, because it was so funny and hilarious and something he created.
There's a whole